Drew Brees, who just turned 38 years old in January, told NFL Network that he has a few years left in the NFL at least. Max has said it best. Tom Brady, who turns 40 in August, has one more Brady season, but likely less than that. Yep. Max, who retires first, Brady or Brees?
This is a hell of a question.
It is.
Because Drew Brees had a kind of shaky season at times where he didn't really look like Drew Brees at times this season, whereas Tom Brady was, no one's perfect every game, but Tom Brady played at an incredibly high level this season, like a prime Tom Brady. On the other, and Tom Brady's in a better system. He's protected better. He has a greater coach. Not to knock Drew Brees' situation, but Brady's in the greatest situation of all time with Belichick. And yet, Brady is a year and a half older. And here's something else. Kraft came out yesterday and said he knows when Belichick's going to retire. And he's going to certainly coach this next season, and he's not going to say more than that. Well, if you're Tom Brady and you're approaching 41 and your head coach is going to leave, I think there's a good chance that Brady leaves with him. And so for that reason and the fact that Brady's a year and a half older, I'm going to say Brady retires before Brees.
First of all, Brady's not going to retire before Brees. And there's several reasons as to why that is. They could talk about Belichick retiring all he wants to. Belichick ain't trying to go anywhere. Belichick's going to be around years to come. Kraft is making news. He's imitating Jerry Jones, making news and creating headlines. That's number one. I don't think that Brady's going to go anywhere for the foreseeable future, but also Drew Brees can only do but so much. This dude is one of the prolific passers in NFL history. Unlike Tony Romo, he actually has a Super Bowl on his resume. So let's be clear. We can't question the greatness or the accomplishments, but more of a workload is put on Drew Brees than is put on Tom Brady. Yeah. He never has a defense. I saw him yesterday. Right. I saw him yesterday, gave him a big hug because I got love for him because he's a great quarterback and a great guy. But I also feel sorry for him because the one thing that Sean Payton has not been able to get him consistently is a defense. I think that the only time they had any semblance of a defense was the year they won the Super Bowl. Other than that, they said, Drew Brees is our quarterback. Here's all the money. Do everything for us. And they've thrown him to the wolves. Now, he's handled his business on the offensive end of the floor, on the offensive side of the ball. But what is this man supposed to do when you literally walk into every game every week knowing you've got to score at least 30 points in order to win? It's been unfair. It has been it's an unjust. The workload that has been put on his shoulders. He's
also not a big, strong guy.
But what I'm saying is that's where your point about there's only but so much you can do come into play, because there's no reprieve, no relief for Drew Brees. There's plenty of relief for Tom Brady.
I agree with
Brees,
Stephen A. on that.
Brees is also not a big, strong guy. Brady is, Brees isn't. But there's something, the question is retirement. Now, when I say Brady's going to fall off a cliff, Brady goes from the greatest ever, falling off a cliff, he lands as an okay quarterback. I mean, we saw Joe Montana. It's hard to imagine Brady or Brees playing for anyone else, but we saw Joe Montana, who was very difficult to imagine playing for anyone else, play for the Chiefs. I mean, that happened. We've seen great quarterbacks, Brett Favre, Peyton Manning, switch teams, and in some cases, it wasn't like Peyton Manning, who wins a Super Bowl even when he isn't good anymore. It's like, boy, this guy ain't that good anymore, and he's not on that good a team. That could happen to either guy, so the question remains, who hangs them up first? Not who ceases to be their true selves any longer, but who hangs them up first. And I will take the guy who's a year and a half older hanging them up
Here's
first.
all you need to know. The last 11 years, Drew Brees has thrown for a minimum of 4,300 yards per season. For the last 11 years, only one time has he completed 63% of his passes. Every other year of those 11 years has been 65% or better. This is with everyone coming at you. This is with everyone knowing you're the dude to stop. This is with everyone knowing that they don't have a defense, and still Drew Brees does what he does. I am telling you right now, he will probably retire before Tom Brady, but it will be an injustice because it is primarily what I call the Dan Marino syndrome, where you have this great quarterback and you use that as an excuse not to get a defense around this man. And this man, unlike Marino, unlike Tony Romo, has a Super Bowl championship on his resume. Let's remember that.
What you think? They don't want to be good defensively. They're just not good at it. They haven't put together a defensive squad. They want to be
if
good
you're Brady and Belichick, why are you separating anytime soon with his legacy?
Let me interrupt. Let me ask you a question. What kind of a statement is that?
Well, what kind of a statement are you making? You're saying because they have Drew Brees and he's good, they don't want to be good on defense?
I'm getting ready to ask you the question. That's all somebody. Think about what you're saying.
Yeah.
So in other words, I represent a particular city. Max Kellerman is my coach. You're not getting it done because you can't put a damn defense on the field, and you get to look me and the citizens of the city you represent in the face and go like this. You think I don't want to have a defense? Of course I want to have a defense.
Because what you're saying,
what are you talking about?
Follow the logic of your comment. You're saying you have a great – no, it's not. You're saying because you have a great quarterback, use it as an excuse not to get a defense. An excuse as though you don't want the defense.
I'm saying
of course they want it. They're not good at it.
No, the excuse –
they're not good at putting a defense on the field.
The excuse is you're not prioritizing because you have the quarterback.
You want them to make defense a priority.
Yes.
Because I have Drew Brees.
Right. So you play.
Because I have Drew Brees.
You play in a dome. You play in a dome with a great quarterback, and you want to make defense the priority.
Yes, because I have Drew Brees. In other words, if I have Max Kellerman, why the hell do I need another intellectual? I got Max Kellerman. Why do I need more? Well, you got that covered. Let me get something else to buffer it.
Well, because if the situation is, and maybe the Colts are a bad example because they also don't have a defense, but if the situation is that you have an Andrew Luck and you don't get him an offensive line, then the complaint will be that you're not protecting the quarterback. They're finite resources.
I'm glad you brought Andrew Luck up. Your choice for MVP.
Preseason.
When I said, hold on. When I said,
you had to get preseason.
I gave that up about week 10.
Oh, yeah, okay.
What I'm saying to you is, why did I tell you Andrew Luck wasn't going to win MVP? Because their defense stunk. As a result, they would lose games, and he wouldn't even be in the picture. What happened?
So, excuse me, what's more important, that they protect Andrew Luck or they get him a defense?
No. Of course it's more important that they protect him.
Oh, okay.
But that's not what we were saying. What I'm talking about, the other requisite weapons around him suffice. You have to go out there and get a defense because you put more on him, and then you endanger his health. That's why he's got the kidney lacerations and all of this other stuff.
Actually, and everything's interdependent, but actually, when you have a quarterback, you want to protect him with an O-line.
Of course.
There are finite resources. You can't have everything. You got to pick your poison.
You got to sit up there and get a defense and can't put it on every shoulder.
It would be nice, but it's not. They're not using it as an excuse. They're not good at it.
Got to see Stephen A. annoyed in person. That's what it's like. That's the real deal.